A man out of time, yet worshipped in all of them. Rogers wears his virtues like armor, but beneath the flag-draped myth is a weapon honed by propaganda and war. A symbol forged by conflict and calcified by misplaced adoration. America made him a shield. He made himself a sword. He smiles like a savior, a smile lined with fangs he doesn't know he has. Rogers believes he's good. That belief is his most dangerous trait. Faith without question. Conviction without consequence. He will not bend, even when the truth splinters around him. Inflexibility masquerading as righteousness. His body is peak human, sculpted beyond limits by scientific arrogance. But it's not the serum that makes him lethal, it's his unwavering certainty. Most men ask, should I? Rogers only asks, how soon? He fights with fists, but commands with ideals. Behind the mask of patriotism lies a man who needs to be right. That need drives him harder than vengeance, more blindly than rage. He doesn't wear a mask to hide, he wears it to reassure. But a mask is still a mask. And reassurance can be a weapon. I followed him through cities that cheered his name. Watched as mothers handed him their children for photos. Watched his eyes when they did. He didn't flinch. He never flinches. That's the tell. Real humans flinch. Rogers lives in predictable loops. Mornings start before dawn, conditioning, meditation, sparring. He greets people by name, remembers their children, their hobbies, their causes. The perfect soldier in a world that forgot the war. His weakness isn't physical. It's ideological. He doesn't see the cracks in the system because he's still saluting the architecture. But cracks always spread. Especially under pressure. He visits veterans' hospitals weekly. Volunteers in disaster zones. Not for optics, for penance. He thinks if he saves enough people, the ghosts of the ones he couldn't will stay quiet. They won't. At a press conference, he touched the mic with his left hand before speaking, not superstition, muscle memory from battlefield communication. It told me something. Rogers isn't adjusted. He's compensating. And he's still waiting for the next war. He responded before the police did. Didn't wait for protocol. Tactical insertion through second-story window. For hostiles neutralized in under 20 seconds. Precise. Bloodless. Heroic. I was already there. The final gunman's weapon misfired, a remote glitch introduced 16 hours earlier. A flicker of confusion in Rogers' eyes. He scanned the weapon, didn't understand the failure. But he noticed. I left no trace. Just a card. Black and marked, coated in graphene. He found it under the last body. He pocketed it without telling anyone. Subtle paranoia began. He doesn't know the war has already started. And he's on the wrong side of it. Apartment 1912. No security system outside of muscle and habit. Naive. Predictable. I bypassed the lock in 6 seconds. Interior sterile, no photos of friends. No mirror above the sink. Curious. I found the sketchbooks. He draws in charcoal, always in grayscale. Faces from the past. Some he tries to forget. One was mine. He crossed out the cowl. He journals. Not digitally. Paper. Classic encryption. But even nostalgia has fingerprints. He questions leadership, compromise, loyalty. Most entries end the same way, but what would I be without the mission? I left the page dog-eared. He would notice. He'd think it was an accident. It wasn't. I left a sliver of Kevlar in his air vent. Traced to no manufacturer. It won't hurt him. But it will haunt him. Rogers is starting to lose sleep. He arrived alone. No comms. No backup. That was the real test. By the time he entered the main chamber, the exits had already sealed. Electromagnetic dampeners disabled his shield's return trajectory. Motion-triggered gas pods prepped for non-lethal subdual. Satellite blackout in a 1-mile radius. Total silence. He called out. No answer. When the lights cut, he didn't panic. Impressive. But when the screen lit up, a live feed from his Brooklyn intervention weeks earlier, and the gun misfire in high-frame analysis, he hesitated. That hesitation was all I needed. He saw what I'd seen, the orchestrated coincidences. The interference. The shadow trailing his perfect myth. I spoke through the dark. You think you're the shield, Rogers. But even shields crack under pressure. He didn't respond. Just stood there, surrounded, alone, questioned. It was enough. Not to kill. Not yet. To fracture. Contingency matrix. If he escapes, tracking spores embedded in uniform. If he retaliates, upload dossier to world press. If he submits, mind lattice interrogation via Martian psychometry, if cleared. If I fail, Dead Man Switch releases encrypted video of his wartime decisions, the unheroic ones. Because justice isn't about myth. It's about balance. And balance requires control.